into the game. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the TheDannySaur alongside Liaison casting for Thunderdog eSports Top Dog League. Today we have Integrity Gaming versus KLG, and spawning in the upper left, we have the Zerg player, JimRising.
And in the top right-hand corner, it is the red Terran player talking a little trash, and rightfully so with his name. imeurotrash.
Such an odd name, but we're gonna let him have it. And apparently they're BMing just a little bit, talking about other players on the team, saying, "Oh yeah, my guy is gonna beat your guy." And well, then it looks like perhaps it was
it's all
in good fun.
Good-hearted fun, it seems. But
while their offensive language is not in the best taste, at least they didn't purposely
but
mean
neither
it
one of
to
them
be
offended
angry.
the other, which I guess is better than nothing.
A small glimmer of hope amongst an otherwise
correct.
bad situation.
It may not have been politically correct, but at least neither of them are angry. So
yeah. Well,
but
anyway,
it looks like we're gonna be
in other news,
first coming out from JimRising, and gas first, or not gas first, 12-12 coming out from imeurotrash. So Reaper, Expand, and Hatch first. Very, very standard openings coming out here from both players.
Absolutely. And JimRising, actually, I thought that was going to go make a base, but it looks like he's going to drone scout a little bit early.
He's just, I think, worried about 2 Raxes and anything like that around the map. I don't know if he's played Eurotrash before, but he is just going to take a lap around and make sure there are no proxy barracks or anything like that to, just to be extra safe. In Clan Wars, you can never, it's always silly to lose to something like that you could have scouted. So, nice play by him.
Especially when your teammates are watching, go, "Oh, you lost to proxy 2 racks? Come on, man." So,
right.
Nothing of the sort, and JimRising's got a very good idea of what's going on, but clearly something tipped him off, because as a player, it's not something you typically want to do, is take that drone away from mining for long enough to do the lap. It does cost him a fair amount of minerals, but it shouldn't make too big of a difference here, as it looks like a Reaper opening coming from imeurotrash. So we'll see what he can discover with Mr. Reaper here.
Yeah, and he's going to, again, one of the big things he's going to be looking for is whether or not JimRising is continuing to mine gas after the 100 he needs for metabolic boost. One of the really big kind of elements of TVZ for the Zerg player is getting that early speed for Zerglings to get those Hellions off the map, to get the Reapers off the map, and if they're continuing to mine that gas longer than they'd need just for that metabolic boost, it could mean some early aggression, and a really nice surround with those lings on that extractor. That was so unfortunate for Eurotrash, the timing of that. But JimRising gets a Reaper for free, and that is actually huge.
Yeah, that definitely helps out, and that's reminiscent. The worst trap I ever saw was 2 Zerglings trapped a Reaper up against a gas geyser on one of our streams previously. One of those things that just never happens, but now with the Queen out, he doesn't quite have free reign anymore, so it's going to be a little rough. I think he saw everything he really needed, but it looks like JimRising is pulling off that gas just a little bit, still leaving 1 in, so we'll have to see where he transitions. And of course, meanwhile, Eurotrash throwing up this typical expand and bunker at the front.
Yeah, and he is getting the fast 3rd command center. It's going to be interesting to see whether or not he just goes for the engineering bays first in this build, if he goes for bio, or if he adds additional barracks, if he goes for the 2nd gas in the starport. It doesn't look like that's the path he's going to choose, but if he goes for the super greedy double engineering bay before any additional barracks, then there's a window there for JimRising if he wants to go for some sort of aggression. But right now he is perfectly content to just macro up on his end, and there is the starport going down here for Eurotrash.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm wondering, do you think he's planning to take that gold base with the positioning of that command center? I can't tell. It's kind of a typical expand place, but it is favorably towards the gold, and I would be impressed if he went as far as to go ahead and try to nab that, especially early on. So something a little bit to keep an eye on. We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, I think he's gonna kind of see where the game goes from here. We see the Roach Warren coming down for JimRising. I think that's more for defensive purposes, although it is timing up pretty well with the layer, so we could see a Roach speed timing, but there are no evolution chambers out right now yet. He's getting his third base down, and he's skipping on the evolution chambers for the time being, so his upgrades are going to be a little bit delayed, but he does have the opportunity to put on some pressure with Roaches if he wants to.
Yeah, it looks like he's just building 2 for now, and we do see Cloak coming down, as we saw earlier. That tech lab on the barracks certainly was going to go on the starport, and Cloak is no big surprise whatsoever. And, of course, with everything already done, I mean, JimRising should have all the tools that he needs to defend against that, and it looks like his tech of choice is going to be the Spire. So we will see exactly what he has planned. Perhaps a big swell of mutas here if he starts pulling up that gas.
Yeah, and I gotta tell you, Danny, I'm still surprised that we have not seen any evolution chambers yet. I mean, as a Zerg player playing against a Terran who, well, right now looks like he may be going, I was gonna say going for mech, but then he built the tech lab on the barracks, so I'm not sure exactly where his liftoffs are gonna put him ultimately with his infrastructure, but you know, you really need those upgrades as a Zerg player, and he still hasn't gotten them, opting for the super fast mutas. That'll be hitting the map in not too long a time, and they could really surprise Eurotrash. If you look at the unit tab, he has absolutely nothing that shoots up right now.
Yeah, and
one Marine. There it is.
there it is, and that Banshee is gonna look around, but does not actually scout. Stop just a little bit short of seeing that Spire. Oh man, if that was the actual vision range from him, it was just a little bit off. So yeah, this really could take him by surprise, and I mean, JimRising's in a great position now. He's got no real Zerglings, so he's got all Roaches, which is really nice against those Hellions, so won't be able to apply too much pressure, and we could see some real good stuff coming down as we see a small barracks explosion going up to 5. Ooh, and is that 2 more? So he's going up to 7 barracks. All
yeah,
right.
And this is where the economy really gets going for the Terran player. He's landing his third base, and the economy is really going to go into full swing here. He's researching 1-1 as these Lings and Roaches scare off these Hellions and the Banshee, with the mutas now being revealed, but turrets now just being started. But I think this window has kind of disappeared for the moment with these turrets, but again, how many Marines are there on the map? There's still only 1 Marine, because all these buildings are being either built on add-ons or are building add-ons right now. The mutas come into the base right now. 2 Marines pop out of the reactor barracks, but right now it looks like these mutas have pretty much free reign on this Terran base.
Oh, can they stop Stim? If they stop Stim, this will be absolutely devastating, and it looks like they will. Stim being canceled, and that's a little bit rough. I was wondering why he didn't.
Danny.
Yeah, I was wondering why he didn't go into the mineral line, but you know, that just makes that's just a better decision overall. It really is going to cripple them, and all those reactors going down. JimRising, these mutas are paying dividends big time.
Yeah, it's just really, really sad as a Terran player when your infrastructure and your production is being camped. And I mean, the mutas, obviously with their regenerating shield health as well, you know, they're not going to go down anytime soon, and injuring them doesn't mean much, because by the time more Marines pop out, well, the mutas are pretty much back to full strength. So there's a huge supply advantage here, and although that third base has been landed, JimRising can just basically continue to build units, continue to drone up behind this, because the mutas are producing all of the real threat on the opposite side of the map that he needs.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing nothing to stop him, and you see the rare Contaminate coming down on a barracks. I don't know if I've seen that too many times before, and JimRising, honestly, at this point, is seeing no reason to leave whatsoever. I mean, finally, maybe these Marines, he has enough, but remember, Stim hasn't even been restarted, and oh, this is getting so rough. Oh, and able to pick off just a couple in small numbers. He's not able to do it, and there is the nice, easy GG.